quiet week in the UK for theme park news. I mean, wow. Nothing much has happened, has it? Except for Universal turning around saying, we're going to build our first park in Europe in Bedfordshire. And think about it this way, what could be coming to the UK? Speculation is rife out there. Yeet! Good afternoon. So it has been 5 days since Universal announced that they were going to build their first Universal park in Europe. And it happens to be in Bedfordshire on an old brickwork site, most of Wake Kempston Hardwick. Now, there's been a lot of infrastructure details going on with the rail line, the main rail line between London and Bedford, which is now starting to be constructed. They have their own site office on there and stuff. However, there's a lot of speculation out there right now on what IPs are going in there. We've had things from Back to the Future, we've had Jurassic Park talk, we've had Lord of the Rings talk. But how much and how much truth is there in that? Now, I've come across this brilliant little website, which I'll show you in a second, of all the trademarks which Universal have got. In fact, here's that list now. This video was taken this morning on what is out there and what is actually being officially got as an IP under Universal. And what it's showing is a lot of things which Universal own and have a rights in. Now, things which are being talked about is Jurassic World, Back to the Future, Lord of the Rings, and all of this. Now, like I said, this was done this morning, and it's very, very interesting. The only 100% official thing we know, which is going to go into Universal GB, is Halloween Horror Nights. And that has actually been registered for quite some time now, which is going to be great when that happens. It's got technically event standards, it has got merchandise standards, it's got everything you'd probably expect from any of the Universal parks worldwide. However, there's one or two interesting ones as well. See if you can notice them. However, there are some on that list which have been seen as, oh, this is going to go in. We know with the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World franchise, we know that Frontier have got the rights in the UK and worldwide to do the Jurassic Park games. Nothing official yet. There are hints that it could go into Universal GB. However, it has always been stated that they are not going to bring things over directly to affect the American market, which is their main tourism market for their parks. Could we see something else coming up right now? Now, the reason why I say that is within that list, everyone's saying, yes, Lord of the Rings, BBC saying Lord of the Rings. However, they, at this precise moment in time, Universal have not trademarked that. And the thing is with that, if it's not official there, we do not yet know if that is officially coming. It could be down to a load of factors. You can see when anything's been applied for in this whole trademark thing, there's a lot more to do with merchandise and shows rather than theme park side of it and roller coasters. The one which keeps coming up is Back to the Future. Now, I've looked through this morning. Like I said, I've done that little video this morning, and not one thing so far is saying Back to the Future has been trademarked by Universal. Could this be red herring? Could they announce this at a different point? It's again a lot of speculation out there, and speculation is great if you can provide an iota of evidence to go with that. I'm not putting anybody down for this, but everyone in the UK is really excited about this, especially in the theme park enthusiast community. We cannot wait for this. There's just so many people covering this, it's unreal. And sometimes you have to step back and look what is actually there. Now, I'm loving the speculation. I'm absolutely loving it. But with me, I like to have a bit of truthfulness there as well, because that's just me personally. Now, what we are seeing right now is a time where everything is fresh, it's new. We've seen this coming for months. We were just waiting for that one little announcement. All these things which Universal have been doing have been at least since 2020 in the UK. But the licenses extend to 2031 to 2034, which is the latest one which I've seen whilst looking through that list I showed. And it's good to see that Universal are thinking very long term, and it's great to see. But it's another thing on the whole concept art. A lot of people are missing out the two unused areas in between different sections, which are quite literally opposite each other. And I think those are going to be the spaces that if any park expansion is going to happen, maybe they're just thinking about the main areas they want to do. It's maybe that those two areas may be used in phase one or for phase two. Now, what I'm talking about phase one and phase two is phase one being the actual construction of the park, getting it open. Phase two, what I consider phase two, is to be using those two areas as further development over the years once the park's opened. We've seen it in other places and around the world, and it's like they'll leave those spaces blank for a bit. Now, some of you are probably saying, why are they going to do this? Why are they keeping two areas free for further development? And I think the question is quite easily answered. It's to do with keeping the energy there, keeping the momentum there for future developments. So anything new that comes up, any new ride developments which come up, because prototypes can take anything up to 7 years going from idea to the first one being ordered of that particular model. But as we saw with the B&M Flyer, that took ages to construct and go through prototypes, testing, all this, and it was the harnesses and stuff like that. And it was great to see that progress. However, there are things which we just need to refocus on a bit. What is possible? What is out there? How can it develop? So those two areas opposite is going to be great. The prototypes which are coming up are going to be great, which can coaster manufacturers could be working on right down that none of us know about. This could lead to a bigger park in the UK than we think of. But there's one thing which has come up in that list which I've seen. It's Celestial Helos. But where have we heard that before? We've heard that before with Epic Universe. Now, if we go to the map again, you'll see that yes, they've got the south of Manor Road all placed out for all this happening and stuff. But what happens opposite where the old official brickworks were, where there's two lakes? Could we see in the next 20 years, because they're thinking long term as well as everyone else is, could we see another bit of the park being extended over there on the north of the Manor Road side? It's certainly something to think about. I think Universal are playing this really, really well. The only thing at present they do not have permission to build on is the two lakes, bits of water on the north of the Manor Road side. Everything else they do have and own and probably build rights on. But I do think the south of the Manor Road side, where the main park is going to be the best place for it at a precise amount of time. It gives Universal that time to figure things out, decide where they want to go. Are they going to be putting a brand new land there? Something which they may be planning right now. Who knows? And it's just going to be the most exciting few years for theme park enthusiasts, especially in the UK, to be experiencing. I mean, what is going to happen to companies like Merlin, Pleasure Beach, the smaller parks? Will it just affect parks around the London area? So we're thinking, well, and north of Bedford, because if you do a 100-mile radius, which is probably going to be their catchment area, it is very likely it will include Chessington, Legoland, Thorpe Park, Drayton Manor, and possibly as well, right on the outskirts, Alton Towers. How are these parks going to step up? It may not affect them too much. It might be a blip for a few years. But in that blip for a few years, what's going to happen? There's so many questions here right now. And I've got to say, I'm looking forward to it. See you next time, guys, and hope you like what I try to explain. And if you like my content, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Good to have feedback. Bye now.